reason why they couldn't be. There is no difference between an organization like the KKK, street gang, or the gang that was indicted in this current case. The only element that the prosecution would have to prove is that this gang is organized as a racketeering enterprise. And those are the key words there, enterprise. And basically all that is an organization, a group of people. It can be formal, it can be informal, as long as they share the common purpose of committing criminal activity. So a RICO enterprise could be a street gang, it could be the KKK, it could be the Coca-Cola company, as long as that group of people is promoting and carrying out criminal activity through a pattern of specific crimes. I think perhaps in the past, where the KKK was, say, bigger, more organized, and committing a lot more violent offenses as a pattern of activity, it would have been an appropriate charge. But Georgia hasn't always had a RICO statute, and it's really relatively recently that prosecutors have been using the RICO statute to go after something other than traditional organized crime like the mafia. So perhaps if the KKK were more active today, we might see RICO indictments against them. But there's no legal reason why any group of people, KKK or otherwise, could not be charged with RICO, as long as there are underlying criminal activities that form a pattern of activity that's criminal in nature. There is, but now we're talking about a different law. That's the criminal street gang statute under Georgia law that actually defines a criminal street gang as a gang made up of members who engage in crimes. I mean, that's effectively what it is. There's no requirement that it have any sort of organized structure. There's no requirement that the members follow any type of specific rituals or protocols, although the law does mention that many times that gang will be defined by things like signs, clothing, methods of communication. Those are not legal requirements. If you look at the law, the only requirement is that it's a formal or informal group of people organized to commit criminal activity. Beyond that, it's just a question, different case, different facts. There was a charge a few years back relating to, I think, a terrorism case where some, I don't know that they were actual KKK members, but clearly white supremacists. And I think there was some discussion about charging them under the criminal gang statute. It's something I would need to, I wasn't involved in the case, but you know, a quick Google search may turn that up. But there's no legal reason why they could not be charged. Absolutely not. 15 members of, again, it's not the KKK, but they were called Respect the Flag, meaning Georgia's old Confederate flag. And they were indicted under Georgia's Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act, basically because they were out there terrorizing folks, you know, driving around with the flag, yelling racial slurs at people. And they faced the allegation that they were a criminal street gang under Georgia law. And they were, again, the criminal activity there was threatening to commit a crime of violence. Douglas County is where it happened. I think the important thing is to recognize that any organization can be a RICO enterprise, and they can be charged under the RICO statute as long as there's evidence that individuals in that group have been committing a pattern of underlying crimes. And that organization, and I've seen it in different cases, businesses, governments even. We've had cases where a city government is alleged to be the RICO enterprise in a bribery case, because you had officials within that governmental office committing bribery, and they were doing that to further the business of the enterprise. So it can really be any group of people as long as there's evidence of the crimes being